The story of Avatar, The Last Airbender is, among other things, a story of two redemptions. The first belongs to Aang. He resisted his calling as Avatar and, frozen in ice for 100 years, allowed the world to fall out of balance and into the hands of the Fire Nation. The second and more compelling redemption belongs to Zuko. Disfigured, disgraced, and banished by his tyrannical father merely for speaking out of turn, or more likely for pointing out the moral failure of his father's commanders, Zuko seeks to restore his status as a prince of the Fire Nation, and as son to his father. It's a brilliant way to set up a villain. Zuko never meant to be the desperate and furious pursuer of the Avatar. In flashbacks, he's shown as a boy who adores his mother and simply wants to be recognized. When he starts on the path of hurting people and destroying lives, he genuinely believes it's his only way home. In John Steinbeck's book East of Eden, the wise caretaker Lee observes, "The greatest terror a child can have is that he is not loved, and rejection is the hell he fears." I think everyone in the world, to a large or small extent, has felt rejection, and with rejection comes anger, and with anger, some kind of crime in revenge for rejection, and with the crime, guilt. And that there is the story of mankind. Rejection is Zuko's problem, but it's not Aang's. For Aang to achieve redemption, he must defeat the Fire Nation and restore balance. His redemptive quest is a moral imperative. Only he can save the world. Zuko, in a sense, isn't so lucky. He has no special powers.
Instead of lightning, it keeps exploding in my face, like everything always does.
Really, all he has is moderate firebending skill, drive, and his uncle Iroh. And it is Iroh who knows that redemption has nothing to do with honor. Iroh is the only one who loves Zuko. He follows him everywhere, in disgrace and poverty, stealing to survive and defending him from his psychopath sister Azula and, more often, from Zuko's own bad decisions. At the North Pole, Aang inadvertently adds insult to injury by showing Zuko love. He saves him from freezing to death, even as his friends insist that they should just leave him there. Iroh later hangs this over Zuko's head in Ba Sing Se. While Zuko remains bent on returning to a father who can never love him, Iroh fights to turn Zuko from a path of false glory and hollow victory to the path of light. In the world of Avatar, that path is fighting alongside Aang. But Zuko soon fails again. He takes Azula's side and helps her nearly kill Aang. Iroh secures Aang's escape and is taken prisoner. Azula, unable to confirm the Avatar's death, gives Zuko the credit, and Zuko is made a prince again. Despite reaching his goal, Zuko quietly grows angrier and angrier. He visits Iroh in prison and, unable to bear the shame of having betrayed the one man who loved him as a son, shouts at him, hoping to free himself from a new rage he cannot understand.
I'm angrier than ever and I don't know why!
Then Zuko's conscience, and a little guidance from Iroh, lead Zuko to the story of Sozin and Roku.
Evil and good are always at war inside you, Zuko. It is your nature, your legacy. But there is a bright side. What happened generations ago can be resolved now by you.
Like his ancestor Roku, Zuko can choose the light. East of Eden also explores the struggle between choice and destiny. Lee asks 4 ancient Chinese wise men, a little like Avatar's Order of the White Lotus, to discuss the meaning of Genesis chapter 4, verse 7. And this was the gold from our mining. Thou mayest rule over sin. Zuko, like Cain and like all men and women ever, is free to choose between good and evil. He chooses good, and that's when his real trials begin. He speaks the truth to his father, and when his father tries to kill him, he uses Iroh's lightning reversal technique in a symbolic gesture of substitution. Water replacing fire, and Iroh's wisdom replacing his father's hatred. Then Zuko undergoes several misadventures as he struggles to gain the trust of Aang and his friends, having been their deadly antagonist for so long. Katara even swears she will kill him if he slips up. The most touching moment of Avatar, and I think the best moment, is when Zuko is finally reunited with Iroh. Zuko begs his uncle for forgiveness and weeps. In a Christ-like moment of forgiveness, Iroh hugs Zuko with the love of a father. Zuko's story is an example of what the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. called the transformative power of love. It's the story of anybody and everybody who has ever deeply wronged somebody who loved them, then come back and receive forgiveness. And in many ways, forgiveness is the only thing that keeps the world from destruction. In the case of Avatar, Aang's forgiveness and Iroh's forgiveness allow Zuko to be a friend and teacher to the Avatar, and to help him save the world.